football. He has on the Shuttlesworth. Did it right. Michigan touchdown.
Shoelaces dropping in the wind.
We shy away from no challenge or opponent. We bow to no man. We bow to no program. We are Michigan.
This podcast is brought to you by JMC Sports in Metamora, Michigan, your destination for authentic sports memorabilia, cards, and collectibles for every fan. Check them out in-store or online at jmcgear.com.
We're back. We're back. It's back. We're back.
And we're the best friends that anyone can have.
I was thinking,
Thought that's where you were heading with that.
No, I was thinking of that song earlier, though, or that line from Hangover, because I was thinking about, the intro's got to be, well, we're back. We're back.
We are back. And it is Michigan football week, thank God. The football gods have struck upon us another college football season for the 2025 season.
220. What?
So,
where were you
guys,
going with that number?
I don't know. Listen, football's back. It's week 1. We are in Ann Arbor this week, much to the demise of Brett's sanity. How are you guys? Thanks for joining us.
Well, considering Saturday is supposed to be like 70 degrees, I'm thrilled. And not 95 like it was last year.
God forbid you might have to wear your moccasins this week.
I would love that.
Yeah.
Maybe throw the boots on too.
Man,
I'll be boot goofing.
Are you going to be able to leave the yacht club to come down in Ann Arbor this week?
What do you mean yacht club? What the fuck's that even mean?
You're bougie.
I'm wearing boots.
Yeah, well, this is a first.
I wore them all last year.
As we learned, you shop at Baby Gap.
Yeah, because it's cheaper.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Well, again, folks, you have heard for a second time, Brett is a cheapskate. I can't talk today.
So Saturday, 71 and sunny. That's beautiful.
Is it, this is not you did not go to New Mexico, correct?
I went to New Mexico State.
Right. So, New Mexico.
And we hated New Mexico.
Right. It's a rivalry game for you. I get it. So, again, guys, welcome. Thanks for joining us. I'm Brett with 1T, here with my co-host Brett with 2Ts for another fabulous college football season. We not only have Michigan and New Mexico coming up this week, but also a really big Big Ten game before we get into the whole Michigan football talk, and that is Ohio State versus Texas.
Wild week 1 game.
That's a pretty big one, guys, and I got to tell you, for our strength of schedule, because we know we're going to clobber the Buckeyes for a 5th straight year, we need them to win, right? We need them to beat Texas. It's a huge, feather in their cap. Not sure they're going to.
You want Ohio State to win?
You need them to win if you're Michigan. I mean, again,
Why?
It gives you a better strength of schedule towards the end of the year in the event that you need it.
I'm not too worried about that
But
part.
do I really want them to win?
No.
I never vote for Ohio State, so
no,
let's be very clear.
I always
about
want
that.
Ohio State to lose.
But Texas loaded up, transfer portal. They went crazy. Sarkisian,
they're back to being a powerhouse.
They're back to being a powerhouse again, and good for them. It's football is great when Texas football is great. I think honestly, and so it's good to see. But like you said, what a week 1 matchup. I mean, that's incredible.
Little quick Texas trivia for you.
Oh boy.
Do you remember who their coach was during their glory days, like the 2000s, when they were really good with Vince Young and Colt McCoy? Do you remember who the coach was? Crickets.
Yes. Crickets.
Just crickets.
Hold on. Part of me wanted to say Pete Carroll, but he was not because he was USC.
So they look alike.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. They do look alike.
Hold on. Steve Spurrier.
No,
South Carolina.
Yeah, he was South Carolina and Florida.
Yes, it was. So that's the other school I was trying to think of. No, I don't know who it is. Who is it?
Mac Brown.
Oh, shit. I knew that.
Mac Brown.
Damn it. Okay, fair enough. I should have known that. Then he went to North Carolina, and now Belichick took over his spot.
Yeah,
old coach for old coach.
Can we believe? Yeah, Bill Belichick is about to coach a college football game this weekend.
It's incredible, and I am very intrigued to see how that shakes out because he demands a lot. He's coached with a lot of Hall of Famers, obviously notably Brady. But he's had some
Brady's
other
a Hall of Famer?
Well, soon to be. And you got Vince Wilfork and you've got you got Gronkowski. I mean, you got Edelman.
He had Randy Moss for a second.
Randy Moss has come through. I mean, all these great names over the years, he
needs 2 hands to hold all of his Super Bowl rings. So
Yeah, and so it's going to be very intriguing. How does he connect with the younger generation of football players? And
because his wife is 25.
It's going to be interesting. That should help. Maybe that's why. Maybe she's connecting with the football players.
She's the recruiting piece. She's probably got to be the recruiting coordinator.
What would you say if she walked in your door?
Hey.
So, again, obviously going to be an incredible first week, but let's talk Michigan football because that's what we're about.
Do we want to run down the schedule or we want just to do a little discussion?
We're going full discussion on this one. So,
Bryce Underwood, starting quarterback. Did anyone see it otherwise?
So, can I just say,
Yes.
had Mikey Keene not been injured, I did for a minute think there was an outside chance that they might give him the nod, and the only reason that is because of experience. Now, I will say there was a very interesting stat. I saw it.
I think I know which one you're going to bring up because I talked about it last night with somebody too.
It was Mike Valenti says this on 97 won the ticket.
God.
So, and it was not. He's not my favorite, obviously,
No,
but
he sucks.
so here. But I will say that this does make sense. How many freshman quarterbacks in college football can you point to, and they had a very successful season? And when you look back, I mean, last year's with DJ Lagway hasn't done anything, right? Spencer Rattler, what did he do in his first year? You have to go back to Trevor Lawrence as the outlier. Mm-hmm. Was phenomenal at Clemson, phenomenal freshman season. And then you turn around, and before that, it's like Christian Hackenberg, okay, to go over 2,000 yards.
Good.
But that's what we're trying to say is that, while your expectations, this is exactly what he said, your expectations are notably high. You've paid the man millions of dollars, right? And whatever the number is beyond us. But you have high expectations, cheer for that reason. Now, everything we've seen from coming out of Belleville and, all over the national media outlets is that Bryce is a unicorn, right? He could play defensive end as well as he could play quarterback.
Well, his quote the other day when he got interviewed was saying, nobody's seen a freshman like me.
And maybe he's just super confident. Maybe he's right. And I hope that he's right.
I would love if he's just oozing confidence back there already. I would love that.
And, I do expect him to be a good player. I do expect him to have a good year. I do expect him to make mistakes. I expect the offensive line to take some time to gel. I expect some of these new receivers to figure out what it's like to have a quarterback that can throw the ball. It's going to take some time. These guys that were here last year didn't get any passes. Mm-hmm. So, you got guys like Frederick Moore. You've got guys like Samaj Morgan. They haven't gotten passes from anybody, right? I mean, notably.
Marlon
Klein. Marlon Klein. I love, Davis Warren, and he still beat Ohio Soft, and I love that.
Charmin.
But, at the end of the day, I mean, obviously he wasn't the answer. And Alex Orji starting at UNLV.
Ooh.
What a move that was, by the way, to win that game. But
yeah, Idaho
he also fumbled
State,
at the goal line earlier in the game. But that's who he was. Anyways, long story short, you got Denegal. He's starting at San Diego State. Some of these quarterbacks that we had last year may have been fine for such schools as San Diego State.
I forgot about Jane Denegal, honestly.
Yeah, but it's not the same as starting for Michigan, right? And so I am very excited to see Bryce and what he can do with the talented roster because, let's face it, this team is still very talented on both sides of the ball.
When was the last time we had a quarterback prospect that you could be this excited about?
Quarterback prospect? Are you talking a freshman?
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's hard to say. I mean, it's...
Not in my lifetime has there really been like a quarterback that's come through and you're just like, oh yeah, like hell yeah.
And even Chad Henne wasn't like this big excitement, I mean, Brady was not an excitement at the time, right? I mean, you got, a couple of these, I mean, you had a transfer in Jake Rudock, and the only reason we were excited about that is because we had John O'Korn, right, at that time. I mean, there wasn't a lot of things to be excited
Patterson came through as a highly touted transfer.
Transfer, though. This is the key. He was a transfer, so he did not have his freshman year with Michigan. So it's just interesting to have this dynamic and having the number one overall recruit in the country pick us. Last time that happened was Rashawn Gary. Worked out pretty damn well for Michigan. But, the last time I was this excited about a prospect in general for Michigan
Jabril Peppers.
Was Jabril Peppers, 110%. And that is exactly it. He could play both sides of the ball and did. Mm-hmm. I think Bryce could play both sides of the ball if he wanted to. He's not going to.
No.
But I'm very excited to see what happens.
Well, and I'm most excited about the running back room, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
With Jordan Marshall and Justice Haynes.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's going to be a 1A, 1B thing with them.
Yeah.
Like how Edwards and Corum did it for a little bit. Haskins and Corum did it for a little bit. I think it's going to be a very similar aspect as that. That.
Running back room's deep. Mm-hmm. There's no doubt. I'm excited. I was a little. It sucked to see Balboa take a knee injury. That's hard. That's hard. I mean, I heard everything all off season was that he was kind of leading the leading the room for the tackle position, and so naturally there's some shifting there. The offensive line has been announced by Sharon Moore, and I think that having Evan Link at tackle scares me a tad based on what he did last year. I do hope there's been some growth there, but how about Norton coming in from FCS Cal Poly, undersized guard, and has now won the starting job by adding some weight, and won the starting job at a big powerhouse program like Michigan.
Wasn't he a decently touted transfer, even though he came from FCS?
He was graded decently well, but at the end of the day, he's still coming from FCS, so he's not going to get the same attention.
Right.
But it's interesting to see. You got Sprague now starting. You got Link, El Heidi. It's
El Heidi's he's improved a lot.
Well, and he's old. You got Crippen. He's been around a long time.
Captain.
You're right. So it's going to be something, but it's going to take some time for these guys to gel. I know a lot of these guys have played a lot of football, specifically Crippen and El Heidi, but they haven't played with the other three, right? And so that's going to take time. They haven't played with a freshman quarterback. They certainly haven't played with a quarterback as mobile as Bryce is, who then can also step back and chuck it. It's going to take some time. Thankfully, aside from the Oklahoma game, the first couple of weeks should allow for some acclimation, specifically week 1. If you were to consider it a successful week 1 from Bryce Underwood, obviously a W is expected, and I say that with remnants of years past, right? We know how the expectations can go if you get a little too cocky, but the expectation is you win the game. But I want to hear what is your, I guess, stat line, or what is your benchmark for you to say, hey, Bryce, real solid debut?
I would just love to see him protect the ball. Okay. Like, if he can go the game without a blemish in that aspect, I would count that as a win. I obviously don't think they're going to throw him out there where he's throwing down the sideline 50 yards right away. I think they're going to do Michigan ball, where they're going to do these small checkdowns to ease him into it and stuff like that, where little tight end routes, get to the marker, cut back, do that shit. And then if he's connecting on those, then they'll probably air it out a little bit more and more. I can definitely see him ease into it, because obviously he is a true freshman.
Sure.
He is a true freshman, so you got to ease him into it. But yeah, my biggest thing, just protect the ball. Just protect the ball, and the stats will come with it. Honestly, but I would love to see him to at least throw 1 or 2 touchdowns. I would love to see that.
Sure.
I would love to see 200 or right around there yards. I would love to.
So you're saying 200, 2 tutties?
Something like that.
You'd be okay with that?
No, well, no, 60, I'd be ecstatic with that, I should say.
60 to 70% completion.
I would be ecstatic with those
that's
numbers.
That's a pretty good game. But here's what I'm looking for more than all of that. And then granted, I do agree with you. That would be I'd be very ecstatic with that as well. I'm looking for Bryce to command the offense. And what I mean by that is I'm looking for
it moves.
I'm looking for audible at the line, changing the formation. I'm looking for him to call out defensive formations and being able to change that quickly, fluidly, without mistake. Like you said, protect the football. I don't want to see false starts. Not that's all on him, but it starts with the quarterback.
I want to see him in command.
I want to see you in command. I understand it's New Mexico. We're all very well aware it's not Ohio State. It's not USC. It's not Oregon. We get that. However, it doesn't mean the fundamentals should be the same. If you go out there and you can play like that, yes, you would expect at that point that the stats would come, couple of touchdowns, maybe he rushes for 1 and throws for 1. Whatever the combination is, we're fine with it. Does he have to win by 50 to be successful? Not a chance. They could win by 10 and he'd be successful. I do expect the run game to be good. I expect them to figure out ways as the season goes along to use Bryce in option formations to be able to get some of those backs out wide and let them use their speed. I am most excited about how he's going to be utilizing some of these wide receivers. Now, I personally do think a little differently in the sense that I think they're going to let him rip right out of the gate. I think that They may not be going for the home run ball, but I think they're going to want to get him in a rhythm quick, and you're not going to get him in a rhythm by handing the ball off. Now, I'm not saying 30, 40, 50-yard passes, but a Marlon Klein slant route for 5 yards and maybe a couple of curls or a short post, whatever it is.
That's what I was getting at, yeah.
You're going to be looking at those short, quick completions.
Yes.
Let's get him 4 or 5 out of the first 6 to 7 passes, whatever it is, right? Let's get him in a motion. Yes. Okay, now he's settled down. We have a little confidence here. And then something we struggled mightily with last year, please finish. Get the points. We a lot of times last year that was our problem is defense would hold. We'd have the offense would have the ball at midfield, and we'd go -6 yards, and we'd fucking punt. It happened too much. Right. We need to see whether it's 3 to 7, right? I'd love to see 7, but you need to see points going on the board consistently every drive. That's the idea.
No, I like your play. Obviously, we were on the same page of get on those 5 to 10 to 15 yard little chunk plays, because with those, obviously, your completion percentage it's a higher percentage that you'll complete those.
Well, of course,
as opposed to going longer, obviously. But so if he gets those in a rhythm, and he's seeing the ball get completed, he's throwing it and he's completing them, that just gets you going a little bit more. It's just like I look at it in a golf aspect. So say I have a bad hole, next hole I come in and I play it just exactly how I want. Fairway green, 2-putt par. And I hear that ball hit the bottom of the hole for par. That's sometimes you just got to hear that sound to get you all right, let's go. Okay, we're back in it. So I look at it that from his perspective, he's completing those little chunk plays.
Yep.
You're feeling the completion, you're seeing it, and you're getting the results. So so then it's just going to get you going.
Yeah, and I think that, ultimately it's going to take a couple of games for Michigan fans to really get a sense of what Bryce is about. But really, until you run into a down by 7 with 4 minutes to go, or a drive you got to have, or a throw you got to have, you don't really know what you have until you're put in the moment. Now, how do we feel better about those moments? It's you show confidence in these types of games, right? You show the ability to do what's asked of you, and then every now and then you hope that you do beyond what's asked of you. That's how they determine great players, right? So it remains to be seen who Bryce Underwood is. Now, moving on from 19 for a moment, what do we think of the rest of the football team? We've mentioned the running back room is deep. The wide receivers, I'm really excited about Andrew Marsh returning kicks. Andrew Marsh is a very highly touted wide receiver. He obviously mentioned picking Michigan, for Bryce, and he really believes in what Ron Bellamy, his philosophy is. But I'm excited for the speed. I'm excited to have a chance to do some damage on special teams. Let's talk defense. What do you think the defense will look like this year? Is there a position group that you're most excited about, and why?
Honestly, I always loved the D-line, man. I always loved the D-line. Obviously, we saw some great, even not including Mason Graham, Kenneth Grant, because they were in their own world, but we got TJ Guy back.
Right.
Who was another one?
Derek Moore.
Yes. And he shined in that bowl game.
Rashawn Benny.
Exactly. We saw great
Trey Williams was a transfer from Clemson.
We saw great strides from them as the year went on last year.
Right.
So I'm excited to see what they can do now. Essentially, it's their spotlight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to see what they can do. And towards the end of the year, TJ Guy and I already forgot his name again.
Derek Moore.
Yes. They were so good in those last few games.
The Alabama game.
They were.
Alabama, they didn't have Colson Loveland. They didn't have Kenneth Grant. They didn't have Mason Graham.
They
in
were
those
all
games, right?
over them.
And they still dominated Alabama. So I agree. I think the D-line is another strength for this team. It's very deep. I mean, there's a ton of players there that can play meaningful snaps. You need to have at least a 2-deep, but realistically a 3-deep roto on the line for injuries, playing time, whatever.
One thing that's been nice over the years is, even if we've had some down years or whatever, the D-line is always really good.
D-line U, as Michigan is
always really good.
Right. I'm excited about the linebacking core. I think Ernest Hausman is going to be an All-American by the end of the season. I do. I mean, I think he's that good. He's a hell of a tackler. He's a sure tackler. Reminds me a lot of Junior Colson, quite frankly. He's just a real sure tackler.
Junior Colson, yeah.
You know, I think that he's,
Do you remember Josh Ross?
Oh, Josh Ross was freaking great, to be honest.
My favorite play ever when he just stuffed Henderson at the line in that Ohio State game.
Yeah, and that's what you're looking for. But, Hausman plays with a little bit of nastiness, a little bit of tenacity. And, you've got Barham, I believe is how you say Barham, or however you Barham is how you pronounce his name. I'm really excited. He's huge. He is a big man. I'm very excited to see what goes on there. Moving back to the defensive backs, you got Rod Moore back this year. Mm-hmm. But one name I'm being heard tossed around a lot by Coach Martindale is Jair Hill has cemented himself as a number one defensive back on this team.
I saw that too.
That is concerning. And I look,
he was not good last year.
Hell of a recruit, right? We won him over several other big-name programs, Alabama, Georgia, and the likes. Very excited to get him.
He had a rough
year last year because he was asked to be Will Johnson in a lot of ways, and that was not fair to him. He was not necessarily ready for that moment. When he slid to the nickel role, though, I felt he was a little better. So I don't know. I'm hoping that Wink was another year of teaching, another year of growth, maturity, size, whatever. I'm hoping it speaks good things.
I always like to think, returning players, you got a season under your belt, you got a whole off season under your belt, right. So it's got to go up from there. Right. So that's how I look at returning players.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of, returning, Portnoy has returned to the headlines again. This time calling Ohio State out for the fact that the news had reported earlier today that Dave Portnoy was not allowed, Barstool Sports was not allowed, to the Toilet Bowl for week 1. Mm-hmm. Then their athletic director came out and said, that's false.
He was pumping the brakes quick.
That's all Fox.
Yeah.
Well, Portnoy, very easily detailed how this went down, had to cancel flights, reservations, all these other things, and then says, I'm not trying to step on toes of Fox. I'm even telling you that I plan to just shut my mouth in that scenario. However, not who he is. This is kind of a tough look for Ohio State. Do you blame them for not wanting Dave there? Not a chance. But there are several other ways you go about it. You'd make it uncomfortable for him, right? Maybe you don't give him the sweet. Maybe you don't. Whatever. You can do a lot more subtle things to show that you don't want him there. At the end of the day, though, you can't ban him because he's a Michigan fan. You can't. And you did.
Look at it this way. So we look at the Fox panel. Who's on the Fox panel? So you got Brady Quinn it's Brady Quinn, obviously Urban Meyer. Is that Mark Ingram as well?
Mm-hmm.
Say Big Noon would do Auburn is.
Well, you got to think they got Barstool, though, was kicking off this year with that partnership with Fox.
Right. No. So this is what I'm throwing as an example. So Mark Ingram, Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
So say they did a game at Auburn. Are they not going to let Mark Ingram in because he's from Alabama?
It's more than that. You look at it like Portnoy's called out Ohio soft for years.
Big Noon has been to Michigan a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Urban Meyer's been part of the panel. And has anyone said anything about that?
Listen,
because Urban Meyer was the Michigan killer.
Listen, yeah, and you know what? I have been at several games that Urban's been at Michigan Stadium, and when Urban walks across the field to go get set up where he's going to be for the sideline reporting for the game, he's booed the whole way, as he should be, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, they didn't say, Urban, you're not allowed here, right? They didn't say that because that's not how it should be. Granted, I do know that Dave has stirred the pot a hell of a lot more than Urban has. And Urban has also done some very questionable things in his career. However, at the end of the day, you can't do this. And I tend to believe that they did it. They realized it was a big fucking mistake because the media blew it up as usual, and then they tried to backpedal, and now they look like idiots.
So my interpretation of the whole story was, so he's not he's part of Big Noon Kickoff, but he's not one of the main guys like Urban Meyer and all them was. So, and when they go into the stadium, it's only the main guys.
Right.
So that he wasn't going to be part of it anyway. was kind of my interpretation. So that's why when they said, no, this was Fox, because like he wasn't even going to be part of that panel anyway. But it's like, so nobody knows who pulled that trigger truly. Like there's so many moving parts. Nobody truly knows who pulled the trigger.
Could be nobody. Could have never really been a thing.
If it is just like a Fox casting thing, then I understand. It is what it is.
But it's not. You know it's not.
But if it is an Ohio State thing, yeah, that is literally definition of soft.
Bullshit.
That is definition of soft. I'm sorry. It is. And I saw a funny tweet earlier where somebody said Ohio State's going to do some alternate uniforms against Texas this weekend, debuting it. And it had Charmin Ultra Soft as a sponsor in the jersey.
Well, it should be. It's like priority waste for the Red Wings, not going to have good effects.
So nobody truly knows what happened.
Yeah.
I
tend to believe they fucked up and they realized it. That's my opinion. But
it probably truly was just like a whole Fox production thing. But the way it got reported, obviously in social media, shit gets twisted, and
words get thrown in people's mouths that they weren't saying,
and of course, everybody takes it and runs.
Right. So, we'll see, but I don't know what to expect. I will say though, for the game, we will be having our usual tailgate. We plan to talk to all kinds of fans. We're going to get their reactions to what their expectations are for the season. We plan to talk to a couple of the coaching staff throughout this season, not necessarily specifically this Saturday. We're going to talk to some of the coaching staff this season. We're going to be talking to, like I said, plenty of athletes that are going to be coming through. We got Braylon Edwards in a couple of weeks, and we'll have some others that we're going to announce here on our page very shortly. But we got a lot going on, so make sure you guys come down. This week, we will be giving away a jersey. And this week,
disclose what the jersey is.
The jersey is a Bryce Underwood jersey that you will then be able to wear into the game. And the reason that is we figured why not start the season off with the highly touted freshman. So, guys, the rules are very simple. Come by the tailgate. Let us know you saw the post, okay?
Roast Brett.
With
1 T.
That's fine. I don't care.
That's a requirement.
As long as you then turn around and show us, hey, look I'm a follower. I follow your page. We will then enter you in to win a jersey, and we will announce that before game time. So even if you're not directly at the tailgate at the time, you can still win. Guys, it's very easy. Like I said, it's an awesome jersey. Who doesn't want a free Bryce jersey just for showing up? You're already going to be there. Just come by and say hi. See the post. Hey, guys, I noticed you guys were doing a jersey giveaway. I just wanted to come by and say so. Here's my info. Here, showing you that we follow the page and we move on. I'm hoping that we can do this more and more and more throughout the year, and we certainly plan to. I want to buy a lot of jerseys to give away to you guys, but I need you guys to come by and let me know that you're seeing the post. Right. That's the idea.
So do we want to do a schedule breakdown?
For the season? Yeah,
we can do that.
Let's do it. Pull it up.
So, obviously, we've already talked about it. The New Mexico Lobos are coming to town week 1. Obviously.
What's the spread currently, does it say?
Let me pull it up. What's ESPN got your ass at? Let me see. Loud noises. So let's see. No, Nebraska's only a 6.5 favorite over Cincinnati on Thursday. Interesting. Michigan State's a 20.5 favorite over Western on Friday. Michigan is a 34.5 point favorite with the over-under set at 49.5. Ohio State's a 2.5 point favorite, and as everybody knows, like the point spread, you always get the 3-point buffer for being the home team. So that's even. Is there any other interesting? Oh, Northwestern's a dog to Tulane.
Okay.
Oregon's 29.5 over Montana State. Iowa is a 38.5 point favorite over University of Albany.
Does anybody recall?
But does Iowa Will Iowa even score 38 points?
No, I was just
that's the
say,
real
they don't
question.
Score points. Whoever put them at that big of a spread? I mean, I don't care who they are. That's ridiculous.
UCLA is a dog to Utah. Interesting. But, so 34.5 point favorite on Saturday, and I think that's pretty spot on, I would say. I'm pretty sure. New Mexico is notoriously just never been the best team. I've seen them a lot over the years. Actually, when I was in college, saw them quite a bit.
Right.
Obviously not the best team. So, but let's go down the rest of the schedule. And the highly touted, actually, Week 2 matchup, under the lights in Norman, Oklahoma. That's going to be interesting.
Sharon Moore's old stomping grounds.
Has Michigan ever played Oklahoma?
I would assume so. I don't have the stat on that.
I don't think they have. Let's see. Usually ESPN has that stat. I'm going to Google it.
You know, I do think the notion that Oklahoma is going to roll over and let Michigan come in there and stomp them is crazy. That's not going to happen. That's a home game. They've got a ton of transfers, just like us. What's the all-time record between the two? You got it pulled up there?
So Michigan and Oklahoma have played once before. The 1976 Orange Bowl, which Oklahoma won 14-6 and gave them the national championship.
Interesting.
What a
stat. What a stat. Okay. So that's gonna be a tough test. You know, obviously Week 3, we got Central Michigan coming back to the big house. Been a few years since we've seen them fire up chips.
How do you think that notion's gonna go because of the Connor Stallion Central Michigan thing?
I love it.
Kind of funny.
You're gonna see a bunch of dudes in sunglasses in the stands with a fucking Central hat on. I bet you.
I think so.
I bet you Connor's there. Did you see him offer tickets earlier on social media?
That was kind of fun. I think it was for the Portnoy thing.
It was.
That's funny.
I'll tell you, Connor loves Stir the Pot, doesn't he?
That Connor?
Our Connor loves Stir the Pot too, man. I'll tell you what, you got to watch him sometimes.
But then we take a trip to Lincoln.
Yep. And Matt Rule, who we talked about with Mark Spindler the other day on the episode, Matt Rule is doing things the right way. I do agree.
Oh, yeah.
He's a good college coach. I didn't love him in the NFL. His strategy didn't work. It's like Nick Saban. It just didn't work in the NFL. It's fine. But I do like what he stands for from what I can tell. Obviously, I don't know him personally. But it does appear he doesn't have a lot of off-the-field trouble going on. Mm-hmm. His athletes, his teams, I should say, tend to get better year after year. And
year 2 of Dylan Raiola.
Right. That's interesting. They've gotten some recruits. And just like Mark said,
Lincoln's never an easy place to play.
No, and like Mark said, once you get in the facility, you sign on the dotted line. And so I think some kids are taking notice that Matt's building a good program there. Look, I don't expect them to have double-digit wins. I really don't. But again, on the road, not going to be easy. And Raiola's good.
Right.
I think he is. I think he's a freshman, just like we just talked about.
Right. Another cool little tidbit about that game.
Yep.
The last time Michigan played Nebraska, they went to Lincoln, so they're in Lincoln twice in a row for the game against the Cornhuskers.
That's fine.
Even though it usually that changed with the obviously
realignment,
the expanding of the conference and everything. But yeah, that's an interesting little tidbit. Usually they do the back and forth.
Correct.
I remember because of the COVID year that Michigan got the Michigan State at home twice in a row.
Well, now if I remember right, I do recall them being on the same roto. So where you'd play at Michigan State and Ohio State every year, or you'd play home to them every year. And now it seems like they rotate. I thought, and I'll have to look this up, I thought they used to play those either on the road both or at home both, and now it's 1-1.
I don't remember that one.
I don't know. Either way.
But then, yeah.
So we got Week 5? Is that Washington?
Badgers.
Washington or Wisconsin?
The Badgers jump around.
Jump around. That's at home. That's a home game.
That's a home game. Every other this year.
Right.
Yep. Badgers coming to town. We haven't seen Wisconsin in a couple of years.
Yep. I'm excited for that.
The last time we saw Wisconsin, I believe, was the 2021 season. We went to Camp Randall.
They don't have a game time announced for that, correct?
No.
I figured not.
They have the game times up until Week 4 against Nebraska, and then obviously Michigan Ohio State's automatically big noon kickoff.
So Wisconsin or Purdue is likely to be a night game. Wouldn't it be cool to see Wisconsin for a night game? Give me a good team for a night game.
I would much rather see Wisconsin night game. They did do a night game with Wisconsin back in, I think, 18 or 19.
They did. Yep, they sure did. And Jordan Lewis with a one-handed pick.
Nope, wrong game.
Oh, that was a couple years before, wasn't it?
This night, I think it was 18. It was 18 or 19. It was Shea Patterson, and they beat the brakes off Wisconsin.
Oh, that's right.
They beat the brakes off.
Yes, they did. I do recall that.
That was like 2018 or 19.
Yep, I do recall.
So I remember Shea Patterson was the quarterback.